Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is February the 5th, 2017. I am your host, Virtual Kane, and this is the Daily Top 7 at 7. Let's jump into the news like we always do. Oops. Here we go. France's Le Pen launches election bid with vow to fight globalization. France's far-right leader, Marine Le Pen, on Sunday, told thousands of flag-waving supporters chanting, "This is our country," that she alone could protect them against Islamic fundamentalism and globalization if elected president in May. Okay, so it's happening over there too. U.S. coalition jets bomb Islamic State-held town near Euphrates Dam. U.S.-led coalition planes bombed as an Islamic State-controlled town near the Euphrates Dam in northern Syria a day after the launch of a new phase of a campaign to capture the militants' de facto capital of Raqqa, activists and the militants said on Sunday. Sorry about that. A little stumbly this morning. Pentagon failed to disclose up to thousands of airstrikes. The Pentagon has failed to disclose up to thousands of airstrikes the U.S. military carried out over several years in Iraq, Syria, and Afghanistan against militants in those countries, the Military Times reported on Sunday. German magazines defends cover showing Trump beheading Statue of Liberty. The editor-in-chief of Der Spiegel on Sunday, it was on Der Spiegel, said a front cover illustration of U.S. President Donald Trump beheading the Statue of Liberty, which split opinion at home and abroad, was a response to the German magazine to threats against democracy. Wow, that's pretty savage, guys. Der Spiegel. Louvre attacker refuses to speak to investigators. The machete-wielding attacker who was shot by a soldier outside France's Louvre Museum refused to answer investigators on Sunday after being formally placed into custody at a hospital, a source at the Paris prosecutor's office said. All right. May's Brexit plan under pressure ahead of parliamentary test. Pro-Europe MPs' efforts to temper Theresa May's Brexit plan gained traction on Sunday when a member of her own party broke ranks to criticize her strategy before parliamentary votes that will test her government's slim majority. Yep, et tu brute. Just before the vote. Romania scraps decree decriminalizing graft as mass protests persist. Oh yes, we discussed this one earlier this week. They had giant effigies of all of the leaders in prison stripes. Romania's Social Democrat government on Sunday annulled a decree that would decriminalize some graft offenses, an embarrassing U-turn for the country's new prime minister in the face of a week-long mass protests and international rebuke. About 300 rebels from Colombia's FARC have not demobilized, General says. Before we get into that, international rebuke. Okay, so literally the only thing that we heard about this last week was one story where they made effigies. And I didn't really see a whole lot of spin-off on this. I mean, no, I didn't see anybody else talking about it. So when it comes to like international rebuke, obviously they're talking about Europe. About 300 rebels from Colombia's FARC have not demobilized, General says. Around 300 fighters from Colombia's Marxist FARC rebels will not demobilize under a peace deal, a military commander said, giving the first official figure of guerrillas who may join with crime gangs seeking control of lucrative rebel drug territory. Seemed like it was making sense there for a minute, and then all of a sudden it just blah, blah, blah. So, it seems like at first they're saying that, well, first of all, I don't even know what happened over there. I know that there were some prison riots, and this guy right here, apparently he decided it was time for him to start dressing up in militant garb again. So this is, him being militant. Anyhow, that's about it for what I can remember of that. We'll try to keep in touch on this story. In Cuba visit, Colorado governor sees government desire to work with Trump. The governor of Colorado said on Sunday he believes the Cuban government wants to further improve relations with the United States under President Donald Trump as he wrapped up a 3-day visit to the communist-run island nation. And our final story. Philippines government says church out of touch in attacking drugs war. The Philippine government derided Catholic bishops on Sunday as out of touch as they used weekend sermons to attack a war on drugs they said had created a reign of terror for the poor. Well, that sounds pretty logical. It's tactics used over and over and over again throughout history. So, I think pretty much sums it up for today. As you noticed yesterday, there was no show for the 4th. There will be 2 shows for today because I love the fact that the Super Bowl is happening today and it is not part of the daily news. That makes me feel a little bit better about using Reuters, whatever, using these guys as a news source. So, like I said, if anybody has a more objective view of, or a more objective source of collecting the world news, let me know. I'd love to find out. So, anyway, you guys, I love you. Thank you for tuning in, and we are going to get you another episode tonight with the results of the Super Bowl. So, guys, stay tuned for that. And also, it is Sunday. We have a brand new K&K promotions coming your way later today. So, have a wonderful day, and I will see you tonight.